The Big Three. We don't just bring you the headlines, we go beyond them. Every weekday, Monday to Thursday, join us as we critically review the 3 big on Nigeria Info 95.1 FM. The Big Three. Tune in.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
You know, nothing is exactly, there are few things that can be as exciting or as pleasing as plying a road that has always been a thorn in your flesh. Either you're driving or you're taking public transportation, you know, cab or a motorcycle. Plying a road that has always been a thorn in your flesh because the road is bad, and then the road is being fixed. It can indeed, send very good feeling to someone. And I mean, that's exactly how I felt when I was coming to work today, because they're fixing some part of the road in the area I stay. So I'm excited by that, and I'm glad that Mr. Project has decided to show mercy upon the area I stay at. And they're doing some because I was out of Abuja for like 5 years thereabouts, only for me to come back to the same said area, and the same place that has always been bad is still bad. Now nothing is as disappointing as have you ever traveled? Maybe you left somewhere, you traveled and then you came back, and the way it was before you traveled is still the same way, or even worse. It can be very disappointing. So I felt a lot of disappointment when I got back and I discovered that the place is pretty much the same. Nothing has changed. If anything, it has gotten worse. But, when kudos is due to someone, you should give it. And, so I did feel good that they're fixing the roads. So that people can stop spending a lot of money on shock absorbers and lower arms and bushings in the lower arms and ball joints. Those who can relate, because these things don't come cheap anymore. Before, you could buy, a pair of lower arm for your car for as low as, say, 15,000 naira for a set that is fairly used. And now you're talking about 40,000, 50,000, 35,000, depending on the kind of car you're driving. And if you're driving some very popular, highly driven vehicles, then you'll be paying. It will cost you an arm and a leg. So, yes, to Mr. Project and everybody helping me, well, we say thank you to that effect. And this is me showing my appreciation personally, because the team they touch us small. My name is Gabriel Spector, the Call Me Radio's finest, and you're welcome to Hard Facts for today. Today is Tuesday, beautiful, pretty dry Tuesday afternoon. While it is raining in some other parts of the country, well, it's quite dry in the nation's capital. And I am not riding solo, only that the Oracle herself is not yet in the studio. Very much around, very much in the building, but she's busy with some managerial work, and will be joining me in the show pretty soon. So do not flinch. Do not be weary. Don't be scared. All right, she's going to step in any moment from now. But until then, we are going to continue the conversation, because the conversation needs to continue anyways. And you are there, I'm here, so we can have a great conversation. It's the big three. After that, we'll go into the conversation. We're going to be diving deep into this standoff between Nupeng, Petron, and Dangote Refinery. As a matter of fact, the last time I checked, there isn't any progress made as far as that is concerned. Not much of a progress has been made so far. It's been pretty, will I call it difficult now, getting to reach out to certain members of this organization. I know I was speaking with Kim earlier in the day, and she reached out to some people in Pengasan. Pengasan said, well, we are not exactly involved in this brouhaha, so we cannot speak on a matter we are not involved in. I reached out to Nupeng, couldn't get in touch with the president of the association or the organization, was able to reach out to the front desk of Nupeng, and I was being told to submit an email. I'm like, sister, I can submit an email so that you guys can give us a reaction, but then this is a burning matter. It's a burning national issue at the moment, so we need quick reaction. Give me number of somebody. He said, no, I have to send an email. Okay, you know what? You're wasting my time. Thank you very much. Poop. And I ended the call. So reaching out to them has been, well, I can understand why they are up and about, because, you know, this is a matter they feel like they need to resolve as soon as possible, because their stance is that this takes away the job from them. Monopolistic move, they say, Dangote Refinery is making, just the way Dangote has monopolized the cement industry. That's what they're saying. And quite a number of organizations or associations are involved in this standoff. There's Petron, there's Nupeng, there's NATO. NATO is the National Association of Road Transport Owners. Owners or operators? Owners. Yes, that's NATO. There is also a wing of Nupeng that drivers of the tankers fall under. So they are also heavily involved. So it's quite a number of bodies are involved in this standoff at the moment. And they're looking at it collectively. So some are fighting for security of jobs. Some others are fighting for trade union related issues. For example, I think this is pretty much in the news already. The fact that as at the time some drivers were being employed by Dangote Refinery, it is reported allegedly that they were asking the drivers to sign certain undertaking that they would not be members of any trade union. Why exactly? Till now, Dangote Refinery has kept mum on that particular issue. Why are they asking the drivers not to be part of any trade union whatsoever? They've been quiet as far as that is concerned. I have been keeping tabs. We all have been keeping tabs on this issue because, of course, should anything happen, should they fail to come to a compromise, both parties or everybody involved, with the help of the federal government, my brothers and sisters, body go tell us, because I can't remember the last time we had some sort of fuel scarcity, but I know for a certainty that when fuel scarcity happens in this country, it's usually very ugly in Abuja. I don't know why. You would think that because it is the nation's capital, that it should be better, but I don't know why. It eludes me as to why it is very ugly, and it can be quite nasty in Abuja when there's scarcity of petrol. In Lagos, usually a lot better in the southwest generally, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo. But you see, the moment you begin to cross into Ekiti, Ondo, Benin, then you begin to come into the north central, Lokoja, Kogi state, or Kene, it begins to get dark, you know. I also know that once you get into the likes of Benue, Makurdi, going towards Enugu to connect to Port Harcourt, things can be pretty difficult over there too. And I know that it's largely because of the fact that many of these depots, right? Many of these depots, when the petrol products are imported into the country, many of the depots are usually around the southwestern part of the country, especially Lagos. And so many of the offloading and loading, lifting of this petrol by tankers or truckers, by wholesalers or major marketers, as they like to call them, that's where Ipman comes into the picture now. They begin to dispense from that area of the country to other parts of the country. There are other depots here and there, but I know that the biggest and the largest are usually in Lagos. So maybe that's why that is so. So before these tankers and truckers get to other parts of the country, pretty much everywhere is scattered. So the latest update here is, and this is officially one of the biggest stories right about now, there'll be no fuel shortage, says Dangote Refinery, assuring amid tanker driver strike. Now, there is a particular report from Nupeng that at the moment, no progress made, no compromise made whatsoever. In fact, I just saw a report right now on X that certain stations in some part of the country, not Abuja, please, not Abuja. And I think we need to be very careful so that we don't begin to create panic and chaos. But it's important that you get informed. Certain stations across the country are beginning to shut down. As a matter of fact, some other stations are beginning to increase the pump price in their respective stations. However, and this is why this is featuring on the big three, Dangote is assuring amid tanker driver strike that there will be no fuel shortage. And that is where I am holding on to this positive. Now, according to this particular report, a spokesman for the refinery said that the country would not see a petrol shortage despite an ongoing strike by a union representing fuel tanker drivers. The strike, which began, has since drawn support from other unions in Nigeria and abroad. As a matter of fact, I should mention that reputable, popular, respected senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has also put in a word in favor of Nupeng, saying that the federal government should caution Dangote Refinery. And he came specifically from the angle of the trade union, saying that there are certain laws that no matter how big you are, you shouldn't flout them. The strike, which began, has since drawn support. Okay, I think I've taken this before. And I quote him, he says, there is no fuel shortage. Everything is going on. The refinery spokesman said. That's Anthony Chiejina, adding that talks were continuing between the union, the government, and the company. Before last year's opening of the refinery with a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, Nigeria had to import almost all of its petrol consumption, despite being a major oil producer. Critics pointed to years of neglect and mismanagement of government-owned refineries. The refinery has driven down price of petrol for consumers while also shaking up long-entrenched players in Nigeria's oil sector, marred by decades of corruption. But it has also sparked monopoly fears as it becomes a powerful player backed by Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote. So pretty much everything I've said so far, but at the moment, this is where it is. I've also searched all over to see exactly the stance of the federal government. All we have been hearing is that the government is intervening in this conversation. What exactly are they telling them? Not much has been said in that regard. What is the government saying? How are they helping to create a compromise? Because I have heard so many reactions to this particular issue. Frankly speaking, thinking about it, if you're Dangote Refinery, remember when this man went up and about borrowing money, raising funds, and building this refinery. As a matter of fact, he shed tears on it. I've never seen him shed tears before over manufacturing of cement or manufacturing of sugar or salt. But on petrol in Nigeria, this man shed tears. Where he spoke about sabotage and spoke about certain people trying to frustrate his efforts and whatnot. After doing all of that, he's trying to see that all his efforts do not get further frustrated by certain people. And so he says, you know what, I'm going to own my own logistical chain or supply chain to the rest of the world, to the rest of the country, I beg your pardon. So if you're Dangote in this picture, isn't that a wise move to make, that you begin to see that you own your own supply chain? As a matter of fact, I must mention that he also said, you know what, I'm committed to whatever it is you guys are saying. So I'm going to be selling to major marketers. I'm not going to be selling to petrol stations and private owners. I will sell to major marketers. I'll continue this conversation when I come back from this commercial break and then get you in on the conversation as well.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Everyone's
Connection established. In conversations across Nigeria, from politics to policy, economy to everyday life. If Nigeria is talking about it, you'll find it on the Big Three. The Big Three, more than the headlines. It's where the conversation lives. Only on Nigeria Info 95.1 FM. The Big Three.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard facts.
on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. This is the Big Three on Hard Facts. And yes, we've been talking about Dangote Refinery, where representative of the organization says there will be no fuel shortage. As a matter of fact, I'm just checking a WhatsApp portal now, and here is a reaction from Mike in Kagini. Says, Gabriel, I just went to buy fuel at NMPC fuel station at Sako Junction before Arab Road on Kubwa Expressway, and I just saw about 20 Nupeng officials closing down the station. So now I'm thinking, thank you for the reaction, Mike. Thank you for the eyewitness report. And I'm thinking in my head, NMPC, they've got petrol to sell. Is it proper for Nupeng officials to shut down the petrol station? Because they're going to be causing a lot of pain to nine. I mean, this is organizations having a standoff here. Is this going to be a case of when two elephants fight, it is the grass underneath that is going to suffer it? Should that be allowed? Are Nigerians going to really see, knowing that it's not like there's scarcity? There isn't exactly scarcity of petrol. Petrol is available. But some persons are saying because of our feeding, because of our security of our jobs, we are going to ensure that you and I don't get petrol. How do we balance all of these things? Their demands, are they legitimate? How exactly does Dangote import in 4,000 trucks? CNG trucks, as a matter of fact. You know, the most interesting thing about the CNG trucks is the fact that the trucks are not exactly dependent on diesel. They use CNG. So, and if you have a refinery, that means you're going to have quite an abundance of CNG, I want to believe. So your trucks are not dependent on diesel; they're dependent on CNG. Now I know that many vehicles who are converted sort of are run like a hybrid. They can use petrol and CNG, but specifically the trucks are called CNG trucks, so they'll be run on CNG. I want to believe. And they're coming in brand new, so it means that they're going to be quite efficient for the next 5-10 years at the very least. So they're not even susceptible to whatever shenanigans that you might encounter if you're running a normal diesel truck and diesel engine truck. So the last time I checked, the trucks are not exactly in Nigeria yet due to some logistic issues from China. So this is where we are at the moment. What do you think about this issue? Where on whose side are you on, if that's a better way to put it? On the side of Dangote Refinery. If you're the federal government, how would you resolve this particular issue? To be very frank with you, there are some legitimate concerns on the part of their associations, NUPENG, Petron, IPMAN. If you were involved and you have invested a lot of money, because many of them go borrowing, that's the honest truth. They go borrowing to run this business. Have you ever spoken to a fuel station owner before? Now, I don't know why they always say that there isn't much profit margin on selling petrol. That's what they always say. I don't know why they always say that. Now, if that is true or false, I do not know. But the most I've spoken to always tell me, Gabriel, there isn't much money in this thing. We make money from 1 naira, 2 naira, 3 naira, 5 naira. I'm like, yes, 5 naira. But you are selling about 500,000 liters per day. 5 naira, 500,000 is even small. If there's enough food traffic in certain locations, you're selling way more than that. Somebody can come and buy, fill up for like 10 vehicles. Some organizations, 120 liters, 80 liters for like 5-10 vehicles. So 500,000 liters at least, multiplied by 5 naira in one day. Baba, if you are making money, forget this thing people are saying. Anyways, I'll take your reaction on this particular issue. I'm going to be having a guest by the 4 o'clock hour too. She is a reporter in the oil and gas industry. We're going to be having some in-depth analysis. How does the Dangote Refinery and the trucks, how do they affect these associations? So let's understand it fully. Perhaps that will create more context and more clarity. All right, let's look at another topic, another issue that is on the big three this afternoon before I go to your contributions. 0700 951 0000 0809 597 4869. WhatsApp is 0809 993 0137. We are streaming live on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. At Nigeria Info Abuja. You cannot miss it. Also on Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja as well. So you cannot miss it. Just check any of those platforms, whichever is convenient for you, and you have a live feel of what it is here in the studio. All right. The NCAA has summoned 13 domestic airlines over flight cancellation and delays. Now, I wish this was done before last 2 weeks when I was in Lagos trying to pick a flight down to Abuja. I booked a flight with Ibome. And I'm calling them out because, I was really hurt. I was really, really hurt. In fact, it almost landed me in trouble. That's the honest truth. It was supposed to be an 11 a.m. flight from Lagos to Abuja. And I got to the airport. I had checked in online. I was ready to fly. Got in there by, about 10 a.m. Was already seated at the departure lounge waiting to be called. And they were calling every other flight. My heart, I felt really, really bad. The amount of bad I felt, I cannot quantify it. I cannot quantify because, I was supposed to be on the show by 3 p.m. And I'm saying this because, I can relate to this particular issue. The Civil Aviation Authority summoning 13 domestic airlines to an emergency meeting over the growing number of flight delays, cancellations, and affecting passengers across the country. So the meeting is scheduled for tomorrow at the NCAA headquarters in Abuja, confirmed by the agency's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugo, via his X and handle earlier today. This intervention comes amid rising complaints from air travelers and a series of incidents involving unruly passenger behavior at airport, a trend NCAA attributes partly to poor airline adherence to aviation rules. In recent times, violent acts have become prominent in Nigerian airport incidents that were caused. I beg your pardon. In recent times, violent acts have become prominent in Nigerian airports, incidents that were caused by different reasons. While some unruly behaviors were caused by passengers' ignorance of aviation rules, some were a result of airlines' deliberate move to circumvent regulation and deprive passengers of their rights. Achimugo disclosed that the meeting would address a range of critical issues, including persistent flight delays and cancellations. They need to work on this. Passenger handling protocols and welfare obligations, unresolved refund and compensation complaints, enforcement of safety measures like the phone switch off directive, protection for cabin crew and NCAA officials, and the introduction of RFID baggage tagging and real-time flight monitoring technology. This comes barely 24 hours after the NCAA emphasized that airlines must uphold the Nigerian civil aviation regulations, particularly Part 19, which outlines specific obligations to passengers in the event of delays or cancellation, including providing hotel accommodations for stranded travelers between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. The regulatory body stated its readiness to begin naming and shaming airlines that consistently flout aviation rules, particularly those that delay or cancel flights without due process or passenger support. And then the report goes on and on. I was talking about my personal experience. This is as two Fridays ago now. 2 Fridays ago. So I got to the airport by 10. I was ready to board the plane and depart Lagos for Abuja. And then just about 10:49, I cannot forget because I checked the time. They mentioned the name of the flight, and they said our flight has been delayed till from 11. That has been delayed till 12:30 over the public address system at the departure lounge. 12:30. My heart sank, and I was looking at time like this. Okay, all right. If we do 1 hour 15 minutes from 12:30, I should be in Abuja roughly by, say, 2 p.m. I should be in Abuja. I can make it down to work early enough. Only for me to get a mail about 30 minutes later. I got a mail saying that the flight will not depart until 2 p.m. My heart sank, ladies and gentlemen. My heart sank. I felt really bad because the reason why you're paying that amount of money to fly is because of, one, the safety that flying by air gives. Two, it is the fact that it is fast. It is the fast means, or perhaps the fastest means of transportation. And so you're banking on that to be able to catch up with deadlines, catch up with, your schedule, whatever it is that you've got to do. And so when they write, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience, I said to myself, do these guys really understand the inconveniences? Really understand the inconveniences and how these flight cancellations gravely affect passengers? Sometimes they always hide under the guise of, safety first. And I agree with them. In the aviation rules, safety first. I'd rather get to Abuja late than never get to Abuja at all. So that means there's that. But we cannot deny the fact that many times, when you have just two aircrafts, and on your website, you have stated that you're going to be flying 4 times between a particular route. That's 4 sectors between a particular route, maybe from Lagos to Abuja, 4 times in a day. And you have designated just one airline to that. Why don't you just reduce it to 2? So people know that you're flying just twice in that day. Limit. So I mean, I know this for a fact because I mean, I have lots of friends in different capacity in the aviation sector. As a matter of fact, when I got into Abuja eventually around, say, 3:30, and I took a cab directly from the airport to work, of course, I was already late. And I couldn't just stop lamenting. Now, you land at the airport, and there's another problem of getting to wherever you're going to in Abuja because they're going to slam you with outrageous bill by the taxi service there. That's another conversation. And then the guy just began to tell me that, bros, you know what? I work in the airport. Oh. As a matter of fact, there are only 3 airlines right now. How many now? I think about 10 to 13 commercial airlines working, serving Nigerians commercially, locally. He said there are only about 3 or 4. And he mentioned the names. I cannot mention their names for marketing reasons. But he said there are only about 3 or 4 right now that if you book a flight with them, you're not going to get delayed. And I thought to myself, out of, let's say, 10, only 3 or 4, let's say 4, only 4 out of 10 are you guaranteed that you will not be delayed. That's a poor number. And so when the NCAA says we're going to start naming and shaming, I absolutely agree with. Please, let's name and shame. So I went downstairs to the arrival lounge downstairs. Is it the arrival now? Well, downstairs. If you know MM2, I went downstairs and I saw a lot of other, passengers who would have been on the same flights yelling and complaining and all manner. I just walked up to the ticketing office and said, see, I could start yelling here. It wouldn't change anything. I mean, I'm very familiar with how you guys roll. I start shouting, all of you keep quiet, I'll look like a madman. I need to be in Abuja in the next 2 hours. What do I do? How do I go about it? And then she began to call different airlines. I need last minute flights. And they had empty seats. I was hearing outrageous bill, 220, 280. I said, I know how much I paid. And I'm not exactly an OBU. I'm not a Mobabalo. So this one that I paid now, I know how I script. I know how I scraped money to get this ticket. Now you're asking me to pay almost 100K extra just because I want to make a debt after committing. So it's a lot of pain, really. But what do you think? I think it's high time I get your contribution. What do you think about this issue? Is it long overdue that the NCAA took very critical steps to ensuring that the consumer protection for Nigerians or passengers is increased, is intact? Passengers boarding this aircraft increasingly get protected as far as consumership is concerned, because so far so good. We are often served the short end of the stick. Many of these guys think they are doing us a favor, while in fact they should be grateful that Nigerians patronize them. Because if you're a businessman, if you don't get patronage, you run out of business. I don't care what kind of business you run in. Once you don't have patronage, you're running out. Imagine Nigerians come together and say, no, we're canceling this airline. This airline, you guys have done too much. And this guy that was a cab driver from the airport to the office, he began to tell me about certain airlines, some of the biggest that you know in Nigeria, no name mentioned. And he said the reason why they are suffering is because they're overshooting. You're overshooting. How many aircraft do you have? But you want to go to everywhere. And it's good to upscale your business. But are you going to do that at the detriment of quality service? 0700 951 0000 0809 597 4869. WhatsApp is 0809 993 0137. Join me in this conversation. The NCAA calling a critical meeting with 13 domestic airlines over flight cancellations, delays, and passenger behavior at the aerodromes, as well as this particular issue between Nopeng, Petron, Ipman, and Dangote Refinery. I see your messages coming in. I'll take them in a bit, but let's start with the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gabriel.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is Godwin U. Abo,
Welcome, Godwin.
a good young man in Abuja.
All right.
Yes, I want to speak on the the fight between the Nippon as well as unionists in the petroleum sector with the government or Dangote.
Talk to me.
Yes, you see, I will support Dangote's effort in trying to curb corruption as well as reduce the suffering of the masses. See, he came out by producing 4,000 units of CNG trucks in order to ease the dispense of or discharge of fuel to various states. At ease, maybe free of charge or less price. So this other union are looking at it as a way of depriving them, the normal or usual way they used to make humongous money out of the petroleum sector by lifting fear, some through corruptive practices, is going to bar them. And so they just want to revert to business as usual. So they want to fight Dangote tooth and nail to ensuring that his aim doesn't get or see the light of the day. I think that is just what the meaning is. Otherwise, they should have support this man and to see that poor Nigerians don't suffer anymore in the area of transportation due to shortage of fuel and so forth. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sir Gabriel.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. What about Oprora now?
She's around. She'll be stepping into the studio soon.
Okay. As we tell you, sir, that one was here. And I'll back out as an outside greeting. So not to call from Niger State. Just someone to take away for the masses. You see, Dangote is never for a Christmas. Understand? Whatever they are doing with Dangote is for their own favor. Between them without the government, is for their own favor. You see all these things they are doing, very soon they are going to increase the price of oil. Very soon. In the newspaper, in the morning, they say they have increased, they have added 5% tax to the fuel. You understand? And as of yesterday, I see some of these things shutting down some places in Suleja. You understand? So when there is scarcity, you have nothing to do than to abide on what they say. You understand? So that there's no one. Dangote is not doing for the masses. If at all they are doing it for the masses, let them be real. You understand? Not trucks. Let them be real. Even much of the trucks in our highways is dangerous. You understand? We are having bad road and they are still importing trucks. You understand? From here to Port Harcourt or Warren, where's the road? Travel from here to Lagos, where's the road? So if they are embarking on travel, let them embark on rail instead of these trucks. Then we use our rail to transport us some of these petroleum products. You understand? Oh, that is it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hey, Gaby.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, my brother. I greet you specially.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Master Destiny Anthony.
Hello. Welcome, Master.
My brother, which union?
Mazi,
sorry,
I think your radio set is on.
Okay.
Welcome, Mazi.
No, it's not on. It's off.
Okay, I can hear some feedback somewhere. Hold on, please. Mazi,
It's muted.
Okay, hold on, please. I need to resolve this. I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Okay. Resolved. Mazi, are you there?
All right. Yes, I am.
Okay, go on, please.
All right, thank you. So, which organization, which agency, even the so-called all these unions, whether the Nigerian Labour Congress, the bank, the Pegasi, which of them is really out to protect us? Let me start. Let's say NAFTA is also a failure. Fake drugs everywhere. The food we consume, nothing. You bring the what do you call these people now? The NCAA that is threatening. What have they done? Air Peace has given me heart attack twice. I've booked a boat heading to the airport. just around the Dunamis, I just got a mail that my flight cancelled indefinitely. It's not like they even moved it. And I had people in Owerri waiting for me. The same airpiece, the other day, I was about to board, only for them to say I can't use the flight. I had the ticket in my hand with the same registration number on of the plane or whatever. And they say, no, I should come down and I enter another flight that is going to Lagos. Meanwhile, they've checked in my bag. So my bag got away before me. So they had to carry us with the Lagos people. Drop. Which of them? They are not threatening that they are going to start naming. Nothing is going to happen, Gabriel.
I mean, let's be optimistic, Mazi. Let's be optimistic.
I understand the angle you're coming. I am one of the most optimistic Nigerians. But you see, there is a point the system will treat you. And when you see the people who are running the system, you have no choice than, accept the reality and then start thinking of what do I do to make sure that things change. Because you see, when we keep speaking in hope, these people will continue to put us in deeper mess. I just mentioned NAFDAC today. Have you seen a report that this particular drug they take to prevent pregnancy, a lot of it is actually around. Even before the release statement recently, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that a fake of that particular product is in the market. I have heard and read somewhere where doctors are complaining that a lot of young girls who are consuming this thing are coming down with some funny health issues. NAFDAC had to wait. Are they not supposed to stop the thing from coming in? The same with the NCAA that you're talking about. It is a normal thing in Nigeria for you to book a flight that is supposed to leave 4 o'clock, arrive 5 or 5:10 at your destination. It is a normal thing that when you get to that 4 o'clock, that flight might end up leaving maybe 7 p.m.
But at some point, something would have to be done about it. And I guess that's why they're making this move. That's why I said, let's be optimistic that some positive will come out of this.
If we have bad weather, like everybody knows, you are not allowed, you can't fly.
Yeah.
In fact, if you are even about to land in Abuja and the weather is bad, they can take you back to Lagos.
Yeah.
And then later you can come.
Yeah.
It's understandable. But you know that the reason why your flights are constantly being cancelled is because they have pushed you so that they can carry people to Benin, come back, then carry you. Just like you mentioned, most airlines that you see in Nigeria, do you know at a point there was a particular airline, they had only one aircraft flying?
It's very possible.
One.
It's very possible.
One.
It's very possible. Mazi,
you are going to use. Go ahead.
No, I want to say thank you so much so that we can take other calls. Thank you so much. All right then. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling from Abuja.
All right. What's your name?
My name is Udarson.
I didn't get that.
Udarson, Michael.
Michael. I'll take Michael. Talk to me, Michael.
Is in this country we are in, I think that we are heading for danger.
We are heading for danger, you said?
Heading for danger, yeah.
How?
Every sector in this country is collapsing.
Okay, strong words, but go on, I'm listening.
In terms of this Dangote petroleum, Nigeria, we are about almost over 230 million people. And we depend on 1 month to supply petroleum to the country. And we have refineries. And the past government said they spent $20 billion in turnaround maintenance. And Dangote was saying that he spent $20 billion to do this refinery to working. Who is doing? Now this present government, they should suppose what they're supposed to do as Mr. President is Minister of Petroleum. Let him go and call the then Minister of Petroleum and the Minister of Petroleum for State and the NNPC MD. Let them come and give the account who they give the contract about this refinery. Because if the refinery is working, we should not be suffering from all this nonsense. And we are talking about selling fuel of rate of 850, 890, 900 on station. in an oil-producing country. What a shame. You are talking about Libya. Libya is selling fuel at the rate of 5 naira. Angola is selling at the rate of 30 naira. This is our product. This is natural resources. You're not supposed to punishing our fellow citizens for no reason. Thank God and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello.
Yes. Very good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Happy good. This is Edabang Bushi.
Welcome, Elder.
Donatus, I greet you, Donatus. You see, my brother, we are just talking here for talking's sake. It's good that we talk because we continue to talk. But the people in position today, tell me, who is going to mention who name? Who? Mention which name? Show me who. Are they not the one that have that when they privatize all these things, they are the one that bought everything and hijack everything to themselves? Are you not in this country during the time of Buhari that they say they have discovered the people behind the Boko Haram, that they have their list and they send it, that they should name them? They name them. And that is something that is killing the country every day. It's just a pity that we find ourselves in this country. Can you just mention only one sector that is functioning well and very well in Nigeria? Only one. One, not be two, just one. Is it FEMA you want to tell me, or Power, or NLPC, or which one? There are many now. Which one is working? Is it finance sector? Which one? That they will bring out jobs that will say Coastal Road, nothing like due process. We just wake up and say they don't give it to social company. Look at what are we? Only one that is working. They will not mention any name. They will not share anything. They are just saying it. Is it the same people? No,
yeah.
This is Tiwa now. Namu. Nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Elder. Thank you so much. Quite alarming, deafening pessimism that these moves are getting from all I can hear so far. All right, let me take some messages before we go for the news at the top of the hour. Joy is in the studio. Good afternoon, Gabriel. What Dangote is doing to his workers in this regard is exactly what the private school proprietors are doing to their teachers. They don't allow them to form any associations whatsoever. I am a teacher and I've taught in many private schools in Abuja. Joseph, you are very correct. I know of many schools too that do not allow their teachers to join any union, as the NUT now or any other union whatsoever. I don't own a school. I've never owned a school in my life, so I wouldn't know why exactly they do that. But I guess sometimes if you don't have skeleton in your cupboard, you don't have anything to fear, because why would you have your teachers not join any union? But then again, when your teachers are part of the union, sometimes these things can be very detrimental. You know, when unions are going on strike on a matter that doesn't concern you, the members have to be part of the aluta. And so imagine the teachers of a school going on strike for a matter that does not concern the school. How do you resolve that? Good afternoon. Many of these unions are trying to ground the Dangote Refinery and it's usually union solidarity to subject and twist the federal government in the past, and they want to use the same strike model to destabilize Dangote Refinery. All they want to achieve is fuel scarcity and panic buying, and some of the importers of finished petroleum products are not happy with the removal of the fuel subsidy and unable to flourish in the importation of petroleum products. The strike call is to blackmail the Dangote Refinery and the government. Radio Senator. Okay, thank you for your contribution. Oludade Abiodun says, good afternoon, Gabriel. Nupeng are not for the people at all. The fight these people are fighting is for their selfish interests, he says. The late Baba Kokori was the person I know among these so-called unionists who fought for the people, not for the selfish interest. But those who we have today are carrying the name of union up and down and are doing so for their interest alone. For me, I would never support any of these so-called unions in their selfish quest to bring Nigeria down. He says, well, I think it's important to know or to state, Mr. Oludade, that they are not Labour Congress. They're not fighting for Labour. It is a group of people that form the union to protect their interest. I think it's important to state that. So it's like, just like any other association, there is NATA for automobile technicians. There are so many associations that look out for the interest of their members. So when you say it is selfish, well, selfish is relative, right? I'll take more contributions. We'll have to go for the news.
The politics of our nation.
They have that right to protest. There is no need to go there and now start shooting.
The current affairs of our state.
Every